Good, 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 good. Oh, that's a problem. E36, which is supposed to be for my intrepid assistant, also known as my daughter. You know, she's been getting more confident driving, so today she's off from school. Look, yeah, I mean, it is utterly just beautiful outside, a little chilly, but, you know, clear, nice. So we'll take out the E36 convertible that we drove cross country. The video's right there. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I'm going to remaster and put them together as one big set because that was a fun trip. Something everybody should do once in their life. You know, today, we went out and she was driving and it was fine. We put gas in it. And then I took it. We had to go to our business and got to a light and the car stalled on me. And then it wouldn't idle. And then it started sounding like a box of rocks. And my daughter's a little concerned. I'm like, it's okay. I've heard this before. We have a misfire. We're running on 5 or 4 cylinders. Cool. Great. I said, don't worry about it. I'll pull the spark plugs out when we get home. You come out and look at it. And I'll teach you all about, diagnosing this type of issue. Yeah. So I go and take the spark plugs out. I didn't even think about filming this because it's like, this is mundane. I go with my ratchet, right? This thing right here. I go in with my ratchet. You click it once to break it, and then you zip. I went like that, and literally there was no resistance. So then I just took the ratchet off, and I put the extension with the socket, and literally I took it out with my fingers. I said, well, that's kind of weird. So I took out number 2. Same thing. I took it out with my bare fingers. 5 of the 6, I literally could undo with my bare fingers. Not one of these was torqued down. Today, finally today, I guess it sucked in enough air past that number 2, did a little pre-ignition and annihilated it. And that's what basically happened. When it wasn't tight, it was not grounded, but also it could be sucking in extra air and then take it apart. Now, the funny part is, everybody thinks about modern cars are so smart. This has a modern computer in it. No check engine. Nothing. It gave me no indication that there was a misfire. None. Even though I felt there was a misfire. And I went to the exhaust in the back and heard pop, 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 pop. On a modern car, it's a little easier at times than an older car, because with a misfire, it's going to be the ignition system. 98% of the time, it's in the ignition system. So the reason I was pulling the plugs out is, to see which coil pack was bad or if the plug was bad. Because if you're not familiar with, a modern car, they have individual coil packs, which are pretty neat. So that does everything that your distributor, the pickup and all, and the plug wires, it's all into one. Everybody's seen one of these. Real simple setup. Very simple setup, and you just undo them and you pull out the plugs, and then you can actually start really diagnosing, a misfire problem quite quickly. I mean, the only downside is that these are expensive. I mean, probably 50 bucks a piece is a really great price. So, unlike, doing a cap, rotor, and wires, this gets a little more on the pricey side. But these last a very long time. These are from 95, and they actually are still good. And interesting. They're numbered. So somebody's been in here. Interesting. I didn't do that. See, the numbers on there? They're all numbered. Just caught that. And usually you number them if you're looking for a bad coil, because then you move them around and the misfire moves along with you. So yeah, but you see, and this is the other thing about reading plugs. The only one that was tight-ish was this one. And look at the color. The color is the color you'd want. It's kind of tannish, but like this one was real loose, and it kind of has really not much because it's not firing very well. This one was extremely loose. It's a little wet, but you see, it wasn't making a good arc. it was kind of arcing everywhere. So even with the double electrodes, if you don't have them tight, they're going to, yeah, and the car needs a valve cover. Yuck. But you can see the difference between this one, which was kind of tight, and this one that was loose. That one was very loose, and this one that was loose. So it makes a big difference. And I really want to hear about how you go make sure that the stuff you work on is tight. Because I know how I do it, because I have a way, after many 40 years of doing it, I use a 3/8 ratchet, always a short one, and I grab it 1 inch down and I pull on it until I can't move it, and I know that's about 20 foot-pounds. That's how I know a spark plug is tight. These were not. There's a whole lesson there about making sure your spark plugs are tight, because what can happen? That can happen very badly, and you can see the leak from the valve cover. About the way I put the spark plugs in. See, on BMW, they're pretty nice. The older ones gave you the toolkit, and that's actually what this is a spark plug tool. And actually, there's a little thing to hold it in place. And it has you put a bar across here that comes with it. This bar. You run it through. And honestly, you can't over torque it. In fact, you put this all the way down like that and pull on it, and that's actually about 20 foot-pounds. It actually makes it properly tight. That's kind of one of the neat things they did. I'm not so sure about the new ones, but I know up through the E36s they had these. But when, for most of my jobs, I use this type. See, it's just a stubby 3/8, nothing bigger. And when I'm tightening, I'm down here. You don't want to be any further. You don't want to be cranking on this, because honestly, it is you break it. It becomes a nightmare to remove. So I'll put one in and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We'll start at the front. Neat thing is that they're these styles, so I don't have to check anything. Load it in place, bring it down, and just hand tighten. And you go like this. And it's verified that that's pretty good with the old tried and true. Yep, that is tight. And that's how I do it. Very simple. You grip it right there. You don't want to grip it at the end. You want to give it there and give it a good snug, because that's like 18 to 20 foot-pounds. So that's how I put them in, and I shouldn't have this problem again. Okay, let me do the rest of them, and then we can fire it up. One little thing before I go, I'm going to do a comparison here, because we had an issue after we did our trip cross country, and I thought it was all sorts of things. Listen to this engine now as compared to the video I'm going to show right after. It's like a sewing machine now. It's absolutely beautiful. It is amazing the difference you can make when spark plugs are tight. I hope you got something out of this. Hope it was at least enjoyable. If you did, hit the like, tell your friends about it. If you're not subscribing, hey, come on, subscribe. I do car stuff. I mean, this is car stuff. It doesn't get any more car stuffy than this. Just because it's a BMW doesn't mean that the practicality of what I'm doing doesn't apply to the Charger, because it does. Because when that thing has a misfire, I diagnose it the same way, except I have a cap and rotor, and all sorts of other things that can be in the way, and wires and stuff. With that, if you have a cool old car or something fun to drive, take it out, because you'll make someone's day, maybe even your own. And I'll catch you soon, like in a day or two, or maybe 3. Bye.